Hey guys, Jordan Belfort here. Time for a Whiteboard Wednesday. The wolf is in the house. Got a great topic for you. So I went through this on my private trainings I do each week. I have a group, it's a paid group where we do intensive training once a week. And I went through this aspect of, what it really means to control the sale in a way that I thought was really, really helpful to everyone. I got great feedback. So I want to kind of share with everybody. I'll give you the condensed version, right? So for those who don't know anything about the straight line system, it's basically this master, essentially, strategy plan that allows you to close anyone who's closable. Now, it doesn't mean you close everyone, right? It means that when someone comes into your sphere of influence and they are a qualified buyer, they need your product, want your product, right? We close those people. You don't close people with no money who aren't right? But that's what I mean. You get to this point where you really know that if someone doesn't buy from you, you're like, well, no one could have closed. That's a great place to be, all right? So I want you to understand that the master formula for the straight line here is basically just watch. Here's your straight line. You're open, you're close. This is your open, this is your close, right? This represents the perfect sale, like that perfect straight line sale where everything you say, everything you do, the prospect is like, oh yeah, wow, sounds great. Yes, they play right along. It's the perfect sale. It was scripted out, like just follows that shortest distance to a close. But that's far and few between. You have these boundaries above and below the line, and this represents you being in control of the sale versus being out of control up here and here, often Pluto, as I say, or down here in your anus. Not good places to be when the prospect takes control. But I want to qualify this a bit more. In other words, when I say be in control, in other words, when you ask a prospect a question and they start to answer, typically they might say, so, where do you live right now? Let's say you're in real estate, you want to be asking questions, where you're currently living, right? And they'll start answering you in a way that makes sense. Oh yeah, I live in this area over here, XYZ city, and I have a 2-bedroom, blah, blah. And then something will click and they'll start to meander. Oh, because I used to live over here because I love fishing. And then you're like, oh my God, you like fishing? I love fishing. And you start rambling about fishing and you think that's getting you into rapport, and that's just repulsive. That's what I typically mean when I say about how you essentially stay inside these boundaries. It means is as you move forward, you're gonna have these spaces in here and here where you're off the straight line, where your prospect is talking, responding to your questions, right? And what you don't want, though, is to essentially, when someone starts going outside the boundaries, oh my God, that's so, and you spiral out there. That's what you want to avoid. That shows you're a novice, not an expert. And the key to the whole thing here really is that you want to position yourself as this expert that maintains control of the encounter and slowly but surely moves it down the line to the close, right? However, there's another side to this equation as well. And that is that no matter how much you would like the sale to follow this straight line, like, you're going to say this first, you're going to say this second, you have your script, your sort of plan that you want the sale to unfold in the real world, you have to have the mobility, the latitude to sort of kind of zigzag around, go backwards and forward. So in other words, it's a dynamic presentation based on what the prospect says to you. Based on how the flow of the sale is going, you can't be rigid. So what these boundaries represent is the wiggle room that you have in your presentation with not just the words that you say, but in the order in which you say them. Sometimes you're actually going to find yourself like asking questions and also simultaneously presenting. In other words, in the straight line syntax, the order we say you want to take control of the sales, one, right? Then you want to start gathering intelligence. Then you want to build rapport as you go. It's an order. And then you present over, you have a transition, then you present, right? But what happens is, in the real world of selling, you actually sometimes go from 1 to 2 to 5, and then you start asking, you're filling things in along the way. If you don't do that, you sound like you're reading from a script, and you sound like a fool. You have to be flexible. When we write a script, and that script we'll use whether we're in person, not reading it in front, but these language patterns that we have that allow us to get our point across, you always have this overarching equation that says, if I sound wooden, if I sound like I'm reading from a script, I'm not going to be able to close anybody. That's the most important thing. So the straight line represents our best guess, like almost the mean, the most average sale. What typically happens as we bring someone down the line and we close them. In the real world, you're going to have to move from here to here, back to here. Use a little flexibility. So these boundaries, they represent primarily how far you can go out without losing control, but they also represent the wiggle room that you have to allow the sale to unfold in the manner in which it was meant to unfold. You can't be rigid. You can't sound wooden, because that's the death knell of every sale. All right? And that's your Whiteboard Wednesday for today. I love you all. Subscribe to Whiteboard Wednesdays on YouTube. Instagram, you get stuff as well, okay? And I'll see you next week for Whiteboard Wednesday.